And we're live. You guys ready to do this chapter? Any questions?
I think so. No
Awesome.
questions from me.
You guys do okay on the test?
Yeah, I got about 90%.
You did better than I did. I got 78.
So.
Are you guys into the quiz for today?
Yeah.
Everyone's in the quiz for the day?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's start with number 3, I guess. Which hypothesis involves equality? I put the null hypothesis.
Yep.
Is that A?
Yeah.
Is it my turn now, or is it?
Sure.
You can read the next one.
Remember, the p-value is possibility of containing a sample status at least similar at one was actually observed, which calculate the p-value with hypothesis do you assume to be true? I choose A and null hypothesis.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
All right. Suppose the null hypothesis. I can speak. Suppose the null hypothesis is median equal to 10, or a mean equal to 10. Use this information to answer the next 3 questions. Which of the following represents the alternative hypothesis for a two-tailed test? That would be C. The mean does not equal 10.
And then number 6 would be which of the following represents the alternative hypothesis for a left-tailed? Wouldn't it be a right-tailed? So it'd just be D.
Is it greater than?
I think it's less than.
Oh, I'm reading it wrong. Yeah, the tail. So it's A for the left. Yeah.
Yeah.
A less than
10. Which of the following represents the alternative hypothesis for the right tail test? I choose greater than 10.
Yep.
I choose B.
Yep.
I agree. Okay. Remember that we determine the outcome of a hypothesis test by comparing the p-value to the level of significance, or alpha. We use this information to answer the next 2 questions. If the relationship would result in failing to reject which relationship would result in failing to reject the null hypothesis? I think it's having a p-value less than our alpha, or our level of significance, but I am not sure.
That's why I'm thinking about this.
If the p-value is less than
Sorry, my sister.
Is that B? B for number 8?
Yes.
We're not sure about that. Are we confident in that?
Yeah, I've found it in the book. It's in section 4.4.
Oh, okay. Which relationship would result in rejecting? So for that one, it would be the greater than.
Yep.
Is that alpha, or is that the Z one?
Alpha.
Alpha omega, first and last.
Yep. A.
An insurance company is doing return policy rates, with original setting rate. They believe that the average claim amount was 1.5K. There are considering the two means is actually higher than this. Using this information for the next two questions. Which of the following will be appropriate alternative hypothesis HA? I think it's B greater than 150,000, 1,500.
The average claim is greater than 1,500. Yes, that's what I got.
Yeah, greater than.
All right, question 11. Which of the following would be the appropriate null hypothesis? And that would be the one that's already stated, that the average claim is equal to 1,500.
Number 12, the insurance company randomly selects n equals 40 claims and it calculates a sample mean of 1650. The insurance company assumes the distribution of sample mean is normal. Is this a good assumption? Since the sample size is small, it's not a good assumption.
For a sample size, the defining characteristic for an unknown reason to me is 30. If it's below 30, if it's too small, but if it's above 30, it's
You're right. I do remember reading that. So it would be a good assumption then, because it's large. So A.
Yep.
Okay, Brisbane, you ready for the next one?
Yes. What theory or law justifies your answer to the previous questions? I choose the central limit theorem.
I'm in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because at first I was thinking of the law. For 13, I was thinking the law of total probability. That's what I was thinking at first.
And that just means that all probabilities end up equaling 1 when they're added together. All right. Which of the following is the test statistic as defined in this lesson? Let's see. One would be Z.
S.
The Z?
Z? Sorry, I thought you said C for a second.
Z as in Zed, or zebra, or Zedekiah.
Sorry about that.
Or Zarahama.
The historical mean of sales receipts at a grocery store is $150 with standard deviation of $40. The store manager suspects that the average has decreased. She sets up a hypothesis. That's what the hypothesis is. The null is 150, or the mean is, that's the mean, right? I always make that up.
Yeah, mean is mu equals mean in
Right.
this class.
Okay. It's equal to 150, and the alternative is that mu is less than 150. She will use the level of significance alpha equals 0.05. She then takes a simple random sample of 36 sales receipts from her store and computes that the equals 144. I always mix that up. The question is, what is the z-score associated with this test? So to calculate the z-score, don't we take the we're going to take the 100 and we're going to subtract the difference of 144 minus 150 and divide by 40.
We'll divide by 40 and multiply the whole thing by 6.
Why by 6?
I'll let you think about it for a moment, and then I'll give you an answer. I'll give you while I'm writing it down to think of the answer.
Okay.
All right. Any ideas?
I mean, the only thing I thought of is that the square root of 36 is 6.
Yep. And so we have our. Oh, look, you can see your face in the reflection.
And I got that same answer.
Yep.
Negative 0.9?
Yeah. Because we divide the standard deviation by the square root of the sample size.
Did we do something wrong? It wants 3 decimals.
That's easy enough.
0, 0.
Yep. And so when we divide a divisor, we can just multiply it by that up top.
Okay, number 2. What is the p-value associated with the z-score from the previous question? Round to the 3 decimal places.
Okay, so for the p-value, we need our normal probability applet.
Yep. We're doing everything that is. Which area are we going to highlight?
We're doing a left-tailed one, and so we're doing the left tail.
So is it 0.184?
Yeah, 0.184.
I got that as well.
Yeah.
All right. So our p-value is much greater than our alpha, which means we reject our null hypothesis.
Yep. The conclusion for this problem is
Is
that,
it A?
yep, reject the null. For 18, it says, here's conclusion. We have D, we have sufficient evidence that the true population mean is less than 150. Right? That's what we just said.
I'm sorry, I got kind of lost. Which question are we on?
Number 18.
18. So, yeah. We
That's
have
right.
sufficient evidence that the true population mean is less than 150.
Correct?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Hey, Brad, you got number 19?
Yes. There are 2 types of errors that can be made with performing a hypothesis. Which one includes rejecting null hypothesis, when null hypothesis is 2. I think it's type 2, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
It's a type 1 whenever we reject a true null hypothesis. So, the question is how, because this is confusing because there's no easy way to remember the difference, right? It's 1 or 2, but which one's 1 and which one's 2? Am I making
Right.
sense? Like for order of operations, you have please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You can have an order to that. Makes sense.
Right, I know that one.
But for here, what can we do to remember that type 1 is rejecting a true null hypothesis? Any ideas?
The truth is always comes first. The true null.
Isn't that just the question, Lord, all I got, the not answer or understanding, and now assume all thy means, and you address the thy path. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
Let me think about that one.
I think just with 1, we generally accept to be true. So 1 involves the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis we normally accept to be true. And so a type 1 error is when the null hypothesis is true, but we say it's not.
Yeah.
Does that work? Does that help you guys? I think that kind of helps me.
Yeah, I think it does. Number 20, let's do it.
Okay. A researcher decided that instead of using a level of significance of alpha equals 0.05, he will use alpha equals 0.01. Which of the following will be true? The probability of a type 1 error will increase, the probability of a type 2 error will increase, the probability that the null hypothesis is true will decrease, or his experiment will be more scientifically valid. With a smaller alpha, it is more likely that we will have the smaller alpha, it is more likely that we will reject the null hypothesis, and so we're more likely to have a type 1 error. That's what I would say.
I agree with that.
The letter A for apple.
Yeah. So for 21, if A equals 0.05, compute the probability of committing a type 1 error. To do that, what we do, can I just put in 0.05? Sorry, I'm trying to find that in my notes here. So to do that, we just... Isn't it 0.95? No. What am I saying? I'm not sure how to do this. I'm confused right now.
Okay, hold on. It looks like I was wrong.
I feel like we don't have enough information.
In 4.5 of the book, it says, whenever we reject a true null hypothesis, we say that a type 1 error was committed. Assuming the null hypothesis is true, the level of significance A is the probability of getting a value of the test statistic that is extreme enough that the null hypothesis will be rejected. In other words, the level of significance A is the probability of committing a type 1 error. So we choose alpha to be some small number so that the probability of committing a type 1 error, the most common value for alpha is 0.05. So when the null hypothesis is true, there's a 1 in 20 chance that it will be rejected at a 0.05 level of significance.
So the probability is 120.
0.05.
It has to be
You think the answer is
has to be
0.05?
decimal places.
You think the answer is 0.05 as well?
Hold on a second.
I'm gonna grab some tissues real fast. Okay, sorry about that. I see the same part where you found that as well, DJ. But what I'm trying to figure out is that probability. The probability is the p-value.
Yeah.
Do we use the normal probability applet?
Hold on, guys. I got question 8 and question 9 wrong. I'm rereading from the book.
What was 21?
So,
Do we have them backwards?
yeah, we have them backwards.
What was 21?
Questions 8 and 9 is what we went back to, Brad.
Is 21.05 though?
I don't know. I want to make sure I'm getting the foundation right before we go on. Before I figure out that one, just to make sure. Initially I think it's 0.05, but
So 8 and 9 are actually 8 is greater than sign and 9 is less than sign of alpha.
yeah. So if the p-value is less than alpha, we reject the null hypothesis. So which relationship would result in rejecting the null hypothesis? That's question 9. That's p-value is less than alpha. It's confusing because they use a double negative, failing to reject and rejecting. So
Oh yeah.
I think what threw me off.
Yeah.
I thought 2 negative is a positive.
It is, but it's harder for the brain to process, and so so I read that question wrong, and then I just assumed question 9 was the opposite. So
21.
Number 9, number 8A, number 9B.
so yeah, 8A, 9B.
Okay.
And that changes our answer to question 20, and that becomes the probability of a type 2 error will increase.
Okay. And 19 still right? Type 1.
Yeah, 19 is still right.
And 21 is... That's where I don't even find it in the book here.
Computing the probability.
Yeah.
I'm looking
I
for
think
it,
it's under 4.5.
Yeah, I think it's 0.05, but
Yeah, I think so too. I'm gonna put that and submit it. It is correct. I still missed 2 questions though. Number 17 and number 18.
oh, yep, that is also based on our 8-9 problem.
It's okay. Okay, 17 is B now.
Yeah, 17 is B. And
And the other one.
I think it's
What number are we on?
I'm looking at 18.
18. Okay.
So I think it's we have insufficient evidence that we would state it.
Okay, it's from D to C. It's
Yep. So we have insufficient evidence,
and the two proportion mean is less than.
Daniel, if you're talking to us, you're muted.
Oh, I was saying 17 and 18 are what?
So 17 is failed to reject the null hypothesis.
Yep.
And then we state the conclusion is stated in terms of the alternate hypothesis, and so we have insufficient evidence that the true population mean is less than 150.
Insufficient evidence of the true population mean is less. Let's see.
So I submit.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
All right.
Anything else, guys?
Nope. Any more questions or for you, Daniel, since I'm assuming redoing?
Yeah, I'm redoing it right now. I think I feel good about it. When do you guys want to meet next week?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Tuesdays and Thursdays still work best for me.
Okay.
But
Sounds good. We'll stay in touch on that. Do the group chat, but let's plan on 6 unless we hear otherwise.
6 next week?
6 my time, 5 p.m. Mountain time.
And 4 p.m. Brad time.
That's right.
Okay.
Brad, you have your own time zone.
Are we doing 2 lessons next week or doing one at a time?
What do you guys prefer?
I like doing both of them at once.
I did too.
Makes it so I don't have to worry about a second meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's busy. I went ahead and posted the link just so you guys know.
All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good day.